Can you see me? Okay, I think I'll just go ahead first. I assume that recording is already started. Okay, jobless claims in US climbed to the highest level since January. Okay, so basically more jobless people coming on board. As you can see from quite a number of news, especially from the tech industry, Microsoft asking their departmental heads to be more cautious on hiring, and Snap to freeze hiring as well. Nvidia, and Facebook too, and quite. So, well, as I want to show you later on, there's actually a video by the famous YouTuber called Meet Kevin, and he has a very insightful uh, updates and information on what you call it, job and unemployment, and how it's related to the word recession, and how it is related to inflation. Basically, more jobless claims as of right now. It has a good and it has a bad kind of scenario. If too much jobless claims, then it will lead to recession. Then it's bad. If just enough of jobless claim, where then the Fed can have a soft landing, whereby it will curb wage spiraling and reduce um, employers, having to pinch staff or keep increasing pay, and which is which will, if the pay is one of the input costs, salary for companies, and if that is actually reduced, then companies' P&L will be better, and also will be good for inflation, because wage spiraling means that people have more excess cash to keep spending, especially for on consumer and consumer discretionary products or services. As you know, right now there's just so much import going on, and causes supply chain crisis and all that, and uh, everything adds up to the price increase. So, okay, jobless claims in US climbed to the highest since January. Unemployment insurance unexpectedly rose last week to the highest level since January. Initial unemployment claims increased by 21,000 to 218,000 in the week ended May 14. Labor Department data showed Thursday the median estimates in the Bloomberg survey of economics called for a 200,000 initial applicants. So basically, they are off by around 10%. 10%, yeah. So Um, so while the continuing claims figures underscore a still solid labor market, a sustained increase in initial application could signal some softening, which is good. As the Federal Reserve tightens monetary policy more aggressively to rein in rampant inflation, high interest rates are expected to reduce demand for labor. Yeah, this would also mean that company cutting costs and then slow down on employment. But take note, right now in a very hot, so to say, solid labor market, there is actually 1.9 jobs available for every one human being. So this is actually means that it is the employees market right now. So take note of all these ancillary factors, like fewer women than men will regain employment. I just want to show you that. A few other important factors, like more than half of April's job gains went to women, but 1 million women are still missing from the labor force. Okay, there will be some government intervention right here, which will actually, especially on stimulus, which will bring the women's labor force back to the market, which will hopefully we can reduce the job available, let's say from 1.9 to every human being to around 1.3 to every one human being. Then that would be great, with companies freezing, employing people, cutting costs at the same time. The women comes into the market after COVID, as back to normal. These are all pretty good signs. I just want to show you a couple of other very important news. Let me see. Most jobs. Okay. All right. So I just go into. Okay, this very interesting article right now. I mean, a video. You can actually watch this, and very self-explanatory. Second, wait for it to load. Today's internet is so slow. Okay.
Substantially start increasing. Because remember what the Federal Reserve is doing. They're trying to take from the unemployment pool of having a really, really tight labor market where it's just like we've got so much excess demand for labor. Like, even if we lost jobs and we took from the unemployment pool and we lost jobs, there's so many other job openings. People can go get another job, but that would reduce the amount of openings we have, because if you have job losses, that means some of the other openings start getting filled, right? People don't necessarily leave the labor force entirely, although that would also be a problem as labor force participation goes down. But the idea right now is that if we have 1.9 job openings per unemployed person, then you kind of have 2 jobs for every person right now that's unemployed, and that's not balanced. Whereas inflation is really high. So the idea is, well, let's crimp the economy to potentially create some job loss and bring inflation down. And the people who do lose their jobs, don't worry, they can go get another job. I know that's easier said than done, obviously, but that's sort of like the monetary point of view. And so looking at jobless claims now, yeah, we had a little bit of a spike last week and we got over 200K, but we're really not seeing any kind of extreme job losses yet. Although we are starting to see a lot of freezing of hiring. You know, Uber's freezing hiring. You've got even a company like NVIDIA freezing or slowing hiring. Obviously, the likes of Snapchat also doing the same. And so you're kind of getting this across the board. And you're starting to see the effect of that monetary tightening in real numbers. And this is where when we're trying to predict, like, okay, do we have a recession potentially coming? Looking at those jobless claims, very, very important. Another thing that can be a very